Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Transformation Tuesday. Today I'm going to be talking about Irene, who's 35, and she has reflux and continuous bloating. So I'm Ange Sinclair, and I'm the Digestive Detective. This month I've been talking all about bloating, and I thought today I would choose Irene's case for Transformation Tuesday because one of her biggest challenges was bloating. Now, for the most part, bloating is one of the biggest challenges that I see from people in clinic as well. And Irene's was no different, probably a little bit more extreme than I see mostly. So her symptoms were extreme bloating. So the reflux would happen occasionally, but it wasn't she was really worrying about. So the thing that was really getting her down was the bloating. She told me that the bloating was making her really embarrassed. She didn't fit into her clothes anymore, and she wasn't sure what to do next. She'd had an endoscopy, a colonoscopy, so she knew that all was pretty good on that front. She hadn't changed the sorts of food she was eating, and it didn't really matter what food she ate. She always had bloating. So it didn't get any better or any worse from eating, which is really unusual. So this was really interesting case because according to her bloods, her test results, everything should be completely normal. But looking at her belly, it was clearly the furthest thing from normal. So Irene did admit that she had a stress level that was super high. So she said a 15 out of 10, which is pretty high, as she'd just gone through a really, really messy relationship breakup. And on digging a little deeper, Irene had a massive tooth infection late last year, and she had to have at least 4 rounds of antibiotics to clear it. She was thinking that that this wouldn't have impacted her gut very much. So anybody who's ever listened to me for some time or with any of my videos know how antibiotics impact the gut, and that they knew that this was probably one of the causes. So one course of antibiotics will impact the gut for 4 years. So 4 courses, whoa, there's a lot of repair work to do. So as I talked to Irene for another 30 minutes, I discovered that she was a rep for a company and that she traveled a lot for work. And she was often going from one place to another in the car. And she wouldn't eat a lot of meals while she was driving, or she would eat a lot of meals actually while she was driving. She spent a lot of time, driving between place to place, and she said that was really stressful for her. She always felt like she was in a rush and had a deadline, and she didn't, she had to get to where she was going. So that was really problematic for her. So what we did for Irene is we tested her for SIBO. She had so many SIBO symptoms, so small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, and she wasn't sure. No, she was really sure after researching it for quite a considerable amount of time that that's what she had. So when the test results came back, though, she didn't have SIBO. So the mystery deepens. So there are a couple of things, we needed to change in Irene's routine, like her chronic stress. Her body was in fight or flight all the time. So what we did do, though, we did some restoration work on her gut bacteria. That's from all the bacteria that was killed with the antibiotics. Now, this restoration will be ongoing, and we're doing it through food and supplementation. So she'll be doing that probably for about 12 to 18 months to help her gut recover. The things that for Irene made the biggest impact were not eating in the car. So to stop and make time for herself, to put up boundaries around her work environment. So now she told her immediate boss that she needed to stop and have lunch, and her boss was physically shocked that she had been eating in the car between jobs. So Irene soon discovered that this imposed got to get to where I've got to go and have my lunch in the car was imposed by her. Her boss made it very clear that she needed to stop and eat properly and have lunch because they valued her as a really important part of their team, and they didn't want to lose her because of this. So that was a really good thing for her to find out. So this one thing of stopping for lunch, getting her body into rest and digest before she ate, on the first day changed her bloating by 80%. So 80%, that is massive. So she couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. So Irene was really skeptical that this would take a long time to make a difference to her. And what we know for sure is that when our nervous system is relaxed, we digest food much better. It's not sitting and fermenting, and our bloating is reduced. So Irene was pretty excited about that. Her entire routine changed around lunch. She would pack a picnic and she would find some really great spots to stop for lunch. And as she got there and she was in a better mood, she felt better. So she was a convert. So I ask you, do you have bloating? It can be really uncomfortable and distressing. And if it's impacting especially if it's impacting your appearance. So if you want some help or an action plan of what to do next with bloating, book in for a free 15-minute call through the interweb. And there's a link for the Facebook on the video on this page. For Instagram, the link is in my bio. And for LinkedIn, the link is in the comments. Lots of links there. So have a fantastic day, everybody. And don't forget to rest and digest before you eat. Talk soon. Bye for now.